Hi everyone, welcome to Cook Vegan, a baking episode with me, showing you how to make our pumpkin bread. Now this is a favourite, not just with our family, but every time we've had guests. It's not an after dinner cake, but it's a really nice afternoon one. Morning snack for the kids, and every time we've had guests, people always ask for the recipe. They're like, this is amazing. So it's kind of a sweet savoury cake that can be really nice, almost as a treacle pudding when you add a lot of agave to it afterwards, or it can be just a nice spongy light cake. So we have here our pumpkin. Now we've done this freshly at home. So we've taken about half a normal regular squash. We've baked it in the oven for about 45 minutes on a low temperature just to get really cooked the whole way through. It's much easier to peel then. And then we've just cut it into cubes and pureed it with a little bit of almond milk. So that's also a little secret that we have there. However, I know you can buy pumpkin puree in tins, which makes life a lot easier and quicker. So it's up to you which way you want to go. I will post the recipe as well with the exact measurements, but this is about 500 grams of pumpkin, and it is about 120 grams of your weighing of almond milk. Again, you could use another milk, and we pureed this up. Now again, we just kind of add everything together, so I have everything here. This is super easy to make. We use oat flour, so here it is. Actually, I'll just explain what we're putting in. So this is oat flour, it's about 200 grams. You could use buckwheat flour as well, it does also go nicely. We have crushed walnuts here. Again, they don't have to be powdered too much. You can crush them by hand or in a processor. We have about 3 tablespoons of olive oil and about 4 tablespoons of agave syrup. You could use a little bit less or a bit more if you want it sweeter. As we said, we quite like it when we finish it, or I do personally, to put loads of agave on top of the actual bread when it's done. And we have here half a tablespoon of Himalayan salt, baking soda, half a tablespoon, and baking powder, 1 tablespoon, about half a tablespoon of nutmeg, and 1 teaspoon, I'm supposed to be saying, teaspoon of cinnamon. So these are all teaspoon measurements. So I'm going to start by just adding the wet ingredients all together here and just mixing those up. So that's our olive oil, and here's our agave. And to this, I'm gonna add, now this bowl's a little bit overflowing here, so I'm just gonna put that in and make sure that I am mixing the powder in properly and baking soda. So there we go. So it all gets evenly distributed. So super, super easy. Again, something you could do quite happily with children as well, making a nice mess in the kitchen. There we go. And the salt. You could use sea salt. We tend to use Himalayan salt more. And I'm just stirring that in. Like that. As I said, this is such a delicious kind of loaf cake bread to make and just have, and it stays soft for a couple of days. There we go. And then to this, I'll just add the walnuts. As I mentioned, if anyone saw my story a few days ago, I love I love nuts anyway, so I have nuts every day, just picking at them. But walnuts are possibly the healthiest nut around, so they're really, really delicious. The other thing you can do is add a little bit of flaxseed flour to this, or grounded flaxseed. It's also a really good way of getting in your omegas and making sure your kids and the family will get them. We do sometimes do that, but we've also try and eat it in other things. So I'm not adding that to this now, but I do sometimes add it. It doesn't make any difference whatsoever to the texture or taste if you put in maybe 3 teaspoons of flaxseed flour, but it just gives it that little bit of extra healthiness and goodness for everyone. And that's it, guys. We've mixed this all together. You can see it's quite a nice, I don't know if you can see that there, but almost like a rosy colour. And I just pour that in. And the oven is already preheating. So we have it at 180. Now this cake takes a little bit longer than the others. It might take about 25 minutes to cook, but depending on your oven, it may be, you might only need 20 minutes, but I'd say probably 25, or possibly up to 30, but I'd say 25 and check it. Just see how it's going. Check it with a toothpick, and also how big your tin is, if it's smaller or thicker. So there we go. Hope you're all having a nice Sunday while watching this, and there we go. This now is done. I'm going to pop that in the oven. As I said, keep it in there for about 25 minutes. And at the end, we can have it as amazing hot, plain, just as it is, or if you do want it sweeter and more like a pudding, you can have it with your favorite sauce on top, like agave or maple syrup, and it just becomes like a treacle pudding treat. So enjoy. Hope you like this. Please post if you do try it and what you thought, and share pictures as well. Have a great Sunday, and I'll see you soon. Bye everyone.